Hello, hello. Welcome to the 1 hour political tarot reading on the Black and Orange channel. And on Sundays, I usually tack on some extra time. Oh, the kitten. I'd usually tack on some extra time and answer your astrology questions. Yes. Oh, good boy. I am known as Autumn around here, and this is my co-host, Boo Boo's and Kitty. Bailey Boo. The cuteness. Anyway, I hope you're doing well. I usually spend the first 10 or 15 minutes where I gather your political questions. I just do political stuff on here. I don't do personal questions. Then I usually spend the rest of the time answering them to the best of my ability. So if you have a question, do put it in all caps in the chat so I'll know you're talking to me. Anything that's in all caps, I assume you're talking to me, because people here are really friendly and talk amongst each other, and it's nice. It's really nice. People around here are really friendly, for which I am eternally grateful. We have the best moderators anywhere. I will never be able to thank you enough to our moderators. So thank you so much. Okay, if you are watching this on replay, you can go down into the first comment, or later on in the description box. You can just look through the topics and questions covered. Just click on the number and you can go right to what you're interested in. Make it easy. Get in, get out, get what you're interested in, and that sort of thing. And as always, 10% of all income that comes into the channel from any source goes to feedingamerica.org, which supplies food to food banks across the country. Okay, there are lots of hungry people, and that's just appalling in this country, but that's the situation we're in. So if you ever are in, looking for charity, that's a good one. And I make those donations quarterly, so at the beginning of July, so in a few weeks I should be making second quarter donation for that. Okay, today, hello sweetie, hello good boy. This is my little positive energy generator. Yes, he is so good. I was going to talk about what I have written down here, but maybe not. Okay, he's gonna lay down. Oh, okay, this is a good time to tell you, as I try to give him some privacy. I have a lot of notes today, and I did not quite finish the astrology notes I was taking. I'm not going to front. I'm having trouble just keeping up with all the information I sort through on a daily basis, and just the things I'm tackling. So I'm sorry if I've been lax with comments and reading comments and answering messages. I will get there, I promise. It is very important to me. We literally have 5 planets in retrograde. And this coming week, Monday through Thursday, we're going to have 6 planets in retrograde. We had the solstice late last night. We have Eclipse today, and yeah, it's just weirdness and sort of back, how do I put this? Are we going to be sort of decent? All right. Oh no, are we done? You're so good. Yes, you are. Okay, we're done. Okay, give you a little privacy. There you go. Good boy. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so I actually have a question for you guys, and then I want to, before I go into getting your questions and going through all of that, I've got 2 top notes on 2 topics here, and I wanted to go over with you. As far as I just saw Steve asking about the rally. We'll definitely look at that. I did see the what somebody called the walk of shame of Trump walking from the helicopter into the White House, and he had his tie off and he looked all dejected. Like he'd gone out expecting to get lucky with his girlfriend as a date, and it really did not go well, and he's just kind of walking back to the house like, eh. Will things settle down? Yes and no. We'll definitely have space of time. So anyway, like I said, let me at least talk about this first thing. I was watching a video by Glenn Kirschner. He's he does he's on MSNBC and CNN, and they talk to him about a lot of stuff. And so what he was talking about was SDNY and Berman, and why. First of all, he started listing off some of the things that SDNY is investigating, which yesterday I had mentioned that I was trying to get a sense of all the different things they were covering, if that would help me narrow down what this was all about. And if you're wondering what happened to yesterday's reading, that is yesterday's reading. It's still being added to and uploaded, and it's, yeah, like I said, everything is taking 14 times longer, and I'm just like, okay, all right, just gonna keep plugging along. So anyway, okay, so he was talking about what SDNY is investigating, and then he was talking about how he believes that there's information in Bolton's book that explains why, excuse me, Trump and Barr are so determined to get rid of Berman. And then what might happen where we hear more about this. I actually left a comment on, because Glenn Kirschner, he made a video and he put it up on Twitter. I actually left a comment asking about the motives exactly, because there's some motive here I'm missing. So I just want to go through this with you guys, and you can tell me what you think, and I'm hoping this will give you some information that perhaps you didn't know. I know it's Turkey. Okay, this is good. All right, SDNY. Okay, is investigating. Let's just go down this list. The Michael Cohen thing, with the Trump part of the Michael Cohen campaign violation. That part has to wait until January 21 for Trump's part to be taken care of. Okay. They are looking at money laundering at Deutsche Bank. They are investigating the Trump inaugural committee, and we know what a mess that was. They are investigating Rudy Giuliani, and they are investigating his associates, Lev Parnas and Igor Fruman. Okay. They are also investigating, and he thinks that, Glenn Kirschner, he thinks that, he thinks this is the key. SDNY is investigating the Turkish-owned bank, Halkbank, and that Erdogan has been lobbying mightily to get charges dropped against Turkish-owned Halkbank. Okay, so Kirschner was saying that in Bolton's book, and an interview that Bolton just did, little pieces of which have come out, I think it's supposed to be, the Bolton interview is supposed to be broadcast maybe tonight, Sunday night. But in Bolton's book, in an interview, might explain why they're trying so hard to get rid of Berman. In Bolton's book, Trump expressed a, quote, willingness to halt criminal investigations to give personal favors to dictators he liked, including major firms in China and Turkey. Bolton called it obstruction of justice as a way of life. Bolton says that Trump told Erdogan on the phone about the Halkbank investigation. He said, quote, Trump said, quote, Those people in SDNY are Obama people. Wait till I get my people in there and we'll take care of it. So Barr created a Friday night press release intending to nominate SEC Chairman Jay Clayton to replace Berman, a man who has never prosecuted anything. Okay. Now, perhaps we can get more information on this because Nadler, chairs, I believe, the Judiciary Committee in the House, he's having a hearing this Wednesday that was already, it was already about the politicization, easy for me to say, by Barr of the DOJ, Department of Justice. Already, there are going to be various witnesses, including prosecutors from the Roger Stone case, the ones who resigned after they were removed. Stone is supposed to report to prison by June 30th, which is in about 9 days. So it's interesting timing. Because Stone is probably expecting a pardon and to not have to go to jail or what have you. But now, all right, so now we know all of that. And there's this Deutsche Bank money laundering Trump inaugural committee. Giuliani, Parnas, and Fruman, what they were doing, Bolton has said, actually, Parnas has said that Giuliani and Trump knew exactly what they were doing. So that's not good. But as far as Turkey and this willingness to halt criminal investigations to give personal favors to dictators he likes, my question that I asked Glenn Kirschner or anyone there who was willing to answer, or I'm asking you, that doesn't sound like enough of a motive. Trump is a narcissist, and all he cares about is what does he get out of it. Just supporting dictators around the world, that doesn't help Trump. It doesn't make him money. And I realize that Trump has real estate in Turkey, in Istanbul, but he has property all over the place. And you don't see him acting this way toward South Korea or Ireland or all these other places. So I'm trying to find out what exactly is Trump getting out of this, because Trump is only going to say this if there is something very, very specific he's going to get out of this. And we know that this is anything related to Turkey is related to Flynn. Okay, that's fine. So the pieces of this puzzle that we do know have to do with Flynn, who was taking payments from Turkey when he was National Security Advisor and was planning on kidnapping the cleric who Erdogan considers his greatest enemy or what have you. Blind cleric at that. Oh yeah, kidnap the blind guy. That's going to go down well. So we know there's Flynn, but I'm still trying to figure out, maybe he wants their help in takeover of the U.S. Could be, but so anyway, I wanted your opinion, and I probably should see if I read on this, if I can find out any more information, the kind of what direction this is leaning in. So I wanted to give you guys that information. Okay. And then later on, I'm going to go into, Steve Judd has an amazing video he put out. And I got part of the way through it, where I've got all kinds of lovely notes here and what have you. And basically the upshot, if you're not going to stick around for the astrology part, which I usually tack on after the tarot, the upshot is it's going to be an intense week. It just is. Okay. Where did I get that info? Glenn Kirschner, there's, if I hold this up, is it visible? Glenn Kirschner. Let me see if I've got a delay here. I'm going to make sure you can see it. Maybe? Glenn Kirschner, can you see? I'm not sure you can read my handwriting, but if I put it right like that, maybe. But Glenn Kirschner, his Twitter, he put up video up on Twitter, and this is what he talked about. All right, so these are the notes from that video. Okay, and then the astrology, I highly, highly recommend. His name is Steve Judd. Here, I'll hold this up. He is an amazing astrologer. Let's see if is that visible. Steve Judd. Right there, Steve Judd on YouTube. And the cat hair. Ignore the boo-boo Zen Kitty cat hair. His channel is it's just fantastic. If ever you want a, just a quick overview of what's really going on, he's the one to watch. If you don't watch anybody else, watch Steve Judd. All right, so yeah, every time he does a kind of like this is what's coming up in the next year, or artist script. Yeah, art school there had to be some benefit to me going to art school. Yeah, you are in the safe hands of an art history major. Whatever he's going over, like what's coming up in the year, or whatever's going to come up in the next 6 months, or anything to give an overview of kind of what the astrological weather is going to be like. He's on it. He's also one of the few, very few astrologers who he didn't forecast 9/11. Like he didn't know exactly what was going to happen, but boy, he knew something was happening that day, and he had a lot of. We can see your reflection in your nails, Audrey. Really? Does it make me look thin? Isn't that all that matters? Anyway, he has excellent information. So Steve Judd's channel, I highly recommend. And then Glenn Kirschner, so that's who I have information on right here. So I am going to, I'll leave this here for a minute. This is my notebook where I started making these every month, where it's tracking stuff and notes and yeah. Anyway, trying to get hold of all of this. Oh, thank you, Kathy. Trying to grab hold of all these different things I'm trying to juggle. Even with my stellium, my Mercury stellium in Sagittarius, I sift through information on a huge scale. Anyway, all right, I'm scrolling back up. Looking for anything in all caps. The rally. Okay. What do you want to know? Sharon Lee, bonjour. Bonjour, Autumn, and all my dear friends, mes amis. Bonjour, Sharon. Modesty for boo-boo? Yes, I did try. Steve is asking, inquiring minds want to know. I always know when someone's closer to my age than not, because they use that inquiring minds want to know because it reminds me of the commercial from the 80s where it was E Inquiring, as in the Inquirer. Back when the Inquirer was just about gossip and it wasn't like terrifying. He's back. Yes, he's back. Oh, the little positive energy generator's back. Good boy. Okay, inquiring minds want to know Trump before, during, and after the disaster of a rally. Oh, I love it. What a great question. Okay, let me put that down here. I've already got this set up. So I don't even have to type things in. There we go. Okay. Rob is asking, will the TikTok teens strike again? The next rally is in Phoenix, Tuesday, June 23rd. I will, let's have a look at that too. That's a good question. The thing is, though, somebody had pointed out, they said, as much as they had all this capacity for all of these people, and they had even created this outdoor overflow area where Trump was going to talk first and then go inside and talk. All right, so they didn't have the outdoor portion because there weren't enough people. But Trump, even with, because if you show up on the day and there's space, they'll let you in. It isn't like you're only allowed this or that or whatever. And certainly right before the rally, if since the numbers were so low, because I believe the police said there were about 6,000 people there, 6,200 people, that the people who showed up would have been let in. And it was a 19,000 seat space, and there was only 6,000 people there, which means even if you, the TikTok teens, I love that. I like pop music. I've always liked pop music. I like all kinds of music, but I really like pop music, and I love that the K-pop fans have turned their do not mess with the K-pop fans. They have got a system. They have got serious social media organization like you would not believe. There is a reason that BTS. Oh, cat here. There is a reason that BTS is literally an actual fraction of South Korea's GDP, the country's GDP. And it's great marketing and great talent, but it's also the social system they've built up, and it's now worldwide. So you've got, BTS, Army. That's what the fans call themselves, Army. Not an army, just Army. And then you've got, NCT, you've got NCitizens who are NCT fans, and you've got, it goes on and on and on. And boy, they turn against you, and you're toast. They will. Trump thinks he owns Twitter. He thinks that he's got this fantastic social media platform. What he's gone up against, unwittingly, it's bringing a fly swatter to a Tony Stark weapons display. Tony Stark Iron Man weapons display. So anyway, I just love that. I just want to say that. Okay, will things settle down after the retrogrades go away? All right, I'm going to add that to the list because I've got a separate list here for astrology stuff, and I'm going to go over what I was able to jot down about Steve's. Hang on, do I have this up? Where am I? I am almost halfway through the Steve Judd video. I've watched it, but I was getting notes and I just ran out of time. I'm so sorry. I really am. I want to give you guys the best information I can. Hi, Four Paws. Hello, Four Paws. Welcome, Four Paws. You are the sweetie. You are just a sweetie. You and Pumpkin are I'm sorry, my personal opinion. You guys are just the greatest thing, the greatest quadrupeds. Yes, you are. That's my opinion. The rally last night was a bust, Janice says. Trump must be going mad. Plus 6 of his workers tested positive. He got played. Yep. Yep. Put that there. Okay. Okay, how, GMA 5, how does the GOP feel today after that rally? Good question. Let's have a look. That actually would be a separate question. Make sure we get that. Hello, cuteness. Hello, sweet face. You are adorable. Yes, you are. Do, 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 do. There's a good kitty. There's a good kitty. Janice is saying only 6,200 people went to his rally. Where's the million? He should not have picked Tulsa for his rally. Yeah, no kidding. It was a slap in his face. Black lives do matter. Bless you, Janice. Exactly. And I would like to just make it perfectly clear. Black lives matter. That is my stance. What are you doing? What are you doing? Don't drink my soda. You're a nut. Thank you. You are a sweetheart, but you're a nut. I'd have to throw this away if it wasn't just a big pile of acid. Oh, man. You are adorable. You are just the sweetest. Oh, he's tired. Sorry. How can they think firing Berman will silence him? Very good question. Let's add that to the list. Okay, Harry's mom. Trump is quoted as telling Erdogan he would get rid of the SDNY people, drop the investigation, assumed to be in payment for help, but we don't know what help, election or business. I like it. Let's add that. Let's add that to this reading. Okay, let's see what's next. Okay, Lourdes, a great question would be, if these hearings will result in Barr impeachment or new proceedings against Trump. Good, indeed. Let's see if I can highlight this. Alrighty. I'm so glad you're here. I so look forward to doing this with you guys. You've been so good to me and so kind, and you're amazing. Okay, can we hope that the GOP will dump Trump at the convention? I can look, but it's kind of late. But who knows? If it's up to McConnell, I'm sure he'd probably nominate himself because of his own greatness. McConnell's just walking around with a mirror, just staring into a mirror all day long. Maybe he wants their help to take over the U.S. I help with the election, maybe. I don't know. CC Ryder, a question for the cards. Why is Barr engaged in a cover-up? Money, party, religion. Okay, I'll look into that. Anyone who's been regulars, I did read once on. I won't go into it, the details, I promise. But my view of past lives is slightly different than it seems like a lot of other people's. I very much believe in past lives. I try not to talk about that too much because I start sounding like I'm crazy. But I've had some experiences and I've had some memories, but anyway, um, there is I did pick up that there is a Einstein basically realized that all time is simultaneous. I'm not going to go into that. But so right now, at this time, something is happening at a different time. And in that different time, the higher self of Barr and the higher self of Trump are over here, and it's like Barr is Trump's son and is just idolizes his father. Idolizes his father. Like beyond all reason, beyond all reason, decency, or logic, or whatever. And some of that energy is carrying over because as we do things, energy from this life will, we are these symbiotic beings. We are, our higher selves have reached down into these physical forms, and in this lifetime, we are a combination of our physical being, our brain, and our bodies, and our parts of our soul. Whereas this is our whole souls actually can't fit in these bodies. So that's kind of what your higher self is. So it just sent down like a bit into this, and so that's going on over here as well with them. So that energy is it kind of flows around, but it ends up back in the higher self, which seeps out into other lives, a little bit. But the reason I think my view of this is a little bit different is because that does not mean that I think some people use past lives as an excuse. Like saying, oh, well, that was the situation, and therefore Barr's being influenced by, no, Barr's responsible for Barr. What you do in this life, you are responsible for in this life. And that is my only concern, is that too much talk about that takes some of the responsibility. Like Trump, his past lives do not give him an excuse for acting badly now. I also believe very strongly that if somebody is like horribly handicapped in this life, it is not their fault. It is not, it isn't bad energy that's coming from other lives no, absolutely not. It's just the vessel we are symbiotic with. It's just, we get different kinds of vessels. And so anyway, I just wanted to, I know that's, and believe me, that's the short version. So I just wanted to mention that. I will look more specifically why Barr is doing what he's doing, but that's what I got in the past, and I hope I'm not boring you guys. I'm just talking, just giving you all everything everything I have to give. So I guess. All right, Dave's saying that also brings in Eric Prince. Oh yeah, that jerk. Yeah. Well, add him to the list. I don't know that we'll get to him today because I'm not going to spend the whole time going. I want to go over some of this astrology. Yes, intense week. Yes, thanks. Trump may be involved in the money laundering with the Turkish bank under investigation. Ding. I like it. Let's ask about that. Retrogrades are only going to add to the difficulties this week. Yes. Yes. Okay. Oh, thank you, Bridget. That was very sweet. Rebecca, thank you. Oh, you guys are so nice. I'm glad you like my handwriting. That makes me feel good. Okay, all the strong. Cece saying all of these strongman dictators most likely have dirt on Trump and are blackmailing him for favors. Well, let me see if I can add that to the list. Okay. Let me see. Love Steve Judd. Excellent. Sorry, it jumped to the end, and now I can't figure out where I was. Berman's replacement is a good one on our side, but will Barr try to fire her next? Good question. Okay, I don't think I'm going to be able to get through anything more than that today, but did people punk the rally ticket process? Very much so. We love you, Autumn. Thank you, Sharon. Will the silent majority favor Biden? I've gotten repeatedly, the turnout is going to be a tsunami, a blue tsunami. They're gonna try every trick in the book to stop people from voting, and to get them to vote for Trump, or Republicans. But it's been a very strong energy all the way through. Are there plans of taking Trump out by force? No, not that I've ever picked up on. Calibri. Sorry. Hieroglyphic. Was the rally ticket price punked? Dumped the expected thousands more? Yes. Okay. Let me see anything down here. Wondering Eyes saying, you wouldn't sound crazy to me, Autumn. Oh, thank you. You guys, you're very patient with me. All right, Steve's saying in that context, where does that put Eric and Don Jr.? Same? I don't think they idolize him. They don't idolize him as much as this other energy I was picking up. I mean, this is in the past. By the way, you can be influenced by future lives too. You're getting that energy too. But this is a past life, and it was back when, in a very misogynistic time, in a time when there was not much communication going on. Like maybe there was a newspaper, maybe, probably not, town crier maybe. So the world was very narrow, and it was very male-centric, and the person who is Barr now, that the soul, that person idolized his father in a way that was the center. The father was just the center of all. And Eric and Don Jr., they've been slighted enough that they don't have quite that level. But okay, he's not fated to be evil. Yeah, amen, Autumn. Thank you. We are responsible for how we behave in life. Oh, thank you. Okay, so something would be huge. Not sure what. Oh, beautiful flowers, Connie. Thank you. Those aren't even for me. They're beautiful. Connie has just put beautiful flower emojis. I'm loving those. What are those? Impatiens? Those are lovely. Okay, I'm going to start reading. Oh, hello, sweetness. Hello, good boy. Do you know you are precious? Do you know you are precious, good boy? You are the good boy. Let me see. Hello, sweetie. All right, let me start. Let me pick a deck here. I just really want to use the Halloween deck. I love this deck, and it's my oldest deck. Hello. I have probably had this deck for 25 or 30 years. I'm amazed it's still in as good a shape as it is. It just floors me. I don't know, maybe I just unconsciously treat it better. I don't know. She just said she was going to start reading Where the Am I? Sorry? I'm sorry, did I miss something? I've got the questions I'm covering below in the first comment, and we're going to start with the rally. Sorry if I'm missing something, guys. Okay, Halloween deck. Thank you for being so nice to each other. Seriously. Oh, Connie's saying hello to Jazzy Girl, who's been wonderful. Deck must be good card stock. Yeah, something. It's amazing to me. Maybe I don't bend them as much? I don't know. I don't know how they've survived this long. I mean, my Rider-Waite deck, and that's heavy cardstock, and it's not in as good a shape as this. And the other ones are really falling apart, but okay. Okay. We are at 40, good grief, we're like 41 and a half. If anybody wants, I'll put 42. If anybody wants to come back and just watch the replay, I totally understand. All right, give me a second here. How does Trump feel about the rally before? Let's do it before, during, and after. How does Trump, what do you think, cutie? What do you think? Do you think Trump, how do you think he felt before, during, and after the rally? Because he was told, you know, there were 1 million people signed up and all of that. Magical cards. They are magical cards. All right. What do you think, cutie? What do you think? You are such a sweetheart. Yes, you are. You are the precious. You are the precious. You are the good boy. This is how Trump felt before. This is how Trump felt during. Yes. And this is how Trump felt after. Yes. Little generator of positive energy there. You are, sweetie. Oh, big yawn. 3 of pumpkins. Oh yeah, setting up for the rally. Yep. Okay, beforehand, Queen of Pumpkins. From more and more, I'm getting queens as groups of people working together. Like, I get pumpkins or pentacles. Pentacles for Republicans. So this is the Republicans working together. And 9 of Ghosts. Being told there were so many people there, but you notice these are ghosts, so they're not necessarily... It's not necessarily accurate. And then 2 of Bats, this is the decision. Decision where to set it up, decision where to, all right. Decision where to set it up, decision to go, when to go, how to make the entrance. This is him trying to set this, this is Trump trying to set up the stagecraft of, let me see, if I hold that there, is that clear enough? Or is that too high, too low? Sorry, I've got a delay here. It doesn't always show exactly the same. Okay, so about there. Everyone trying to set it up. The promise of who was going to come, and then Trump trying to do the stagecraft because it's his favorite thing, how he's going to make an entrance. All right, during the rally, 4 of Pumpkins, Knight of Bats, Page of Ghosts. So this is 4 of Pentacles, Knight of Wands, and Page of Ghosts. Page of Cups, sorry. There weren't as many people as he wanted there to be there. In this deck, this is a card of sowing seeds, so it was also going out there to sow division, sow seeds of division, because, you know, he threw out a lot of horrible stuff, made a lot of racist comments, like the K word and flu. Yeah, just awful. But he went out there and he was active. He's the King of Wands as the man. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you. But this is him going on the offense, trying to feeling empowered and younger and enthusiastic and what do you see out there, you big nut? And then the Page of Ghosts, this is people love him, but it's smaller. He could see the empty seats. And afterward, Devil, Lovers, Nine of Wands. Serious disappointment. This is, he was hoping for this huge influx of energy. What are you doing? What are you doing, sweetheart? And he didn't get it. And he ended up looking foolish. The energy went really bad. He said this was all corrupted. This is all not what he wanted. So he's gone back to the White House, and he has all these Republicans who are protecting him. Oh, it's not as bad as you think. You looked so good. It was wonderful. We're setting up for better next time. Blah, blah. He's mad. I mean, I don't think you need to be particularly sensitive to be able to reach your energy out and realize he's mad. Disappointed, but angry, because angry is his default position, because of course he's the victim. He's always the victim. He's golfing at his properties today. I'm not surprised. Not surprised. All right, so that's how Trump felt about all of this. 40, kind of 47 and a half. Hello, precious one. 47 and a half. How does the GOP feel today after the rally? Okay, that's a good question, because how the GOP is feeling after yesterday's debacle. Are they, I mean, Jim Jordan was there, and he was signing autographs, and of course he wasn't wearing his suit jacket because, you know, he's allergic to, I don't know, looking like anything other than like the worst gym teacher you've ever had. Put him in Congress and he wears a white shirt with a tie, but not his jacket, because he's too tough for that. He's too cool and comfortable. Yikes. Hello, precious. Whoops. Something went flying. What was that? Two of Wands. Well, Trump's going to blame everybody else, of course. They know that. We know that. Yeah, Bridget saying, I can't stand Jim Jordan. You and me. So, you can't be comfortable there. There you go. He's tired. Yes, he's tired. He's a good boy. How's the GOP feeling? Lourdes is saying, I just got the Hanged Man. Yeah, they're suspending their support, maybe. Four of Swords, quiet. Everything going quiet as a tomb. Ten of Swords, Six of Cups, King of Pentacles, They're actually more worried about the SDNY thing, the Barr thing. Queen of Cups, they know that they've just, basically, that the Democrats, all this rally did was give Democrats fodder for their advertising against Trump. Knight of Wands. Some of them will still actively stand by Trump. They'll be there, but it's a lot more lackluster than it was. This hurt Trump. Politically, this hurt Trump to look so weak. And this Six of Cups, it's a nostalgia card. And what he was hoping for was, to get that huge influx of love and what have you. But the ghosts, the cups, are also what I get for Democrats. So there wasn't he was hoping to inspire some kind of riot that he could blame on the Democrats. But no, for the most part, it was kind of quiet. And then, yeah, but they're more worried. They're much more worried about the SDNY situation, is what it feels like. That's the energy I'm getting from it. I know that doesn't sound very descriptive, but it's this that's what I'm getting for that. Okay, we're at 52. Will the TikTok teen strike again for his next rally, June 23rd? Do not mess with, I think, what are the different groups? Moon Babies are, oh, I could get myself into trouble with babies. They are EXO fans? No, it's not. Oh, who is it? Wonho just left the group. He just had to leave the group, which was ridiculous. I know a fair amount about K-pop. I don't know it really well, and obviously I don't have any crushes on any of these guys. They're the ages of my nephews. So, but I like the music. I like the dance routines. So, and citizens, Army's the big one. I don't know what GOT7 fans are called. Oh well. All right. Gonna keep messing with Trump. And for last thing I'll say is there are K-pop artists who, even in South Korea, who've come out and said Black Lives Matter and made a big. Autumn, do you mean K-pop? Yes, I do. What did I say? Did I misspeak and say something stupid? It happens. Zoomers. Yep. Ace of Ghosts. They're very passionate. They're very passionate. They're very loyal. Okay, good. Emperor, strength. Oh, he thinks he was strong. World. Do not mess with them. They're literally all around the world, and they are devoted. And if even just in America, there's a reason BTS fans are called ARMY. Again, not an army, just ARMY. It's complicated, but yeah. I think they just went on tour, and the tickets for their North America tour sold out in 18 minutes in these massive arenas. So yeah, Salome, they bought 700 tickets and binned them. I believe it. Don't mess with them. Trump thinks, see, this is the emperor, strength. Trump thinks he's strong. He thinks, oh, it's mine. I'm the president and I'm kind of the king of social media. Boo Boo Zen Kitty looks like he's pointing out something in my notes. Yes. Oh, big sigh. He's pointing to the Turkish-owned bank, Halk Bank. Next rally, you guys were kind enough to tell me it's in Phoenix. Tuesday, June 23rd, it says. So just in a couple of days. Yeah, Trump thinks he's strong, but the center of this is the world. He has met his social media match. 10 of Ghosts. Yeah, they're going to keep messing with him, and there are parents supporting what their kids are doing. And then we have, for some reason, why have we got Pelosi here? Queen of Wands. Oh no, this isn't Pelosi. I feel it now. This is people, these fans who are going to grow up and be more socially active and be more politically active, I should say. So this is actually sowing seeds for a future. Yeah, fun for the whole family. If your family is democratic, fun for the whole family. Parents, you know, supporting their kids, messing with the social media and Trump rallies and whatever else. And they're going to grow up, bless them. They're going to be more politically active. I love it. Now, what's that jerk's name? Trump's campaign guy who's made stupid amounts of money off of being Trump's campaign guy. I can't remember his name. If you'd asked me an hour ago, I might have been able to remember, but I just can't. Will they find a way to counter the? Will they find a way to counter the TikTok teens? Pascal, thank you, Salome. Pascal, thank you, Rosemary. Appreciate it. Pascal, Renee, thank you. Bismarck, Autumn, just call him a major D word. Okay, so also from Twitter, for their next stunt, American teenagers will block Fox News on their parents' and grandparents' cable boxes. Oh, we can only dream. I wish my nephews would. I really wish my nephews would. Okay. Are they going to find a way to counter it? Brad Pascal. Thank you, Renee. All right, 2 of Pumpkins. Oh, it's going to be hard. Very topsy-turvy energy. Trying to nail down, especially with the astrology of what's coming, and just trying to nail down this is what's going to happen. But this energy is just topsy-turvy chaos. Whew. Okay, Page of Swords, Moon. 6 of Pumpkins. Oh, this doesn't look good. Okay, Hermit is 6 of, okay. So basically, it's going to take them a while because for a while, and in the center of this reading, I'm just seriously, oh, Sharon's going out for a motorcycle ride. Have a safe journey. Have fun. This energy is so funny. This is a card of young spies. This is the moon causing spies, causing absolute chaos. This is 6 of Pumpkins doling out little bits like tickets that you can get, or doling out other things, messing with the situation. That's hysterical. They're not going to give up. It's very strong right now. But then it's like, it's almost like they start floating ideas. This is the card. I'm not saying this is that Barr's going to get involved, but this is the card in this deck I get for Barr, where he steps in and he bulldozes his way in and he tries to create a toxic smokescreen. Hello. Either lying or saying that things have to be done a certain way, or trying to bring charges against the version of Ticketmaster they were using, or whatever it is. I'm still giggling about what the BTS crowd did buying up all the tickets, says Bismo. Yep. Bless. And then Six of Swords is anytime. I love this. And now I know why I felt drawn to do this deck today. All right, I know this might be hard to see. I'm trying to see if I can get this. This is the Six of Bats in this deck. I'm trying to wait just a second here to see if I can get it lit enough that you can see the see how he's trying to travel, but there are all these bats flying around his head. So anytime he tries to move forward, it's just all of this distraction and chaos, and yeah. Renee is saying, this is the happiest I have felt politically since 2016. These kids are great. I agree. We have some awesome kids. Proud Zoomers. Yes. You are precious. You are precious. I love it too. That's wonderful. That is wonderful. All right, 62. I've always said, how can they think, do they think firing Berman will silence him? Do they think so? You know, I always say that, you know, people like to make fun of teenage girls. I know there are male fans as well, teenage boys too, but especially really being dismissive of teenage girls and their infatuations and their emotions and all of this stuff. And it's like, you underestimate them, their resourcefulness, their intelligence, and their power economically, socially, online, technologically. You underestimate them at your peril. And I've been saying that for a long time. Elizabeth is saying firing Berman will only increase his voice. Yes. Yep. So did they really think that this was going to quiet down Berman? Because after Berman came out and said, no, I'm not leaving, Barr put out a statement saying, well, since you have chosen public spectacle over public service, I have asked the president to fire you. And it's like, I'm sorry. Who are you? Do you know you? Do you know your boss? Have you met? King of Pumpkins, it's just corruption. It's just rank corruption. This is what I get for Trump, for just corrupt businessmen. Eight of Wands, Devil, King of Cups. They've just handed a gift to the Democrats. Queen of Swords, investigators working together. Six of Bats, more distraction for Trump going forward. Again, ending the Six of Bats. More distraction, more chaos that he's not controlling. So, there have been a lot of little, you know, the henchmen have been out for Trump in various areas, jabbing people who try to step out of line. And it's just rank corruption. You got the Devil card. And it's this, doing this was just a gift. They thought that they'd just keep him in line, but they didn't realize the extent of what they were stepping into. Barr didn't, Trump didn't. They thought it was just going to be more of this, we do what we want. But this one, they got too close to the fire and they're going to get burned. And that's them being burned. And that is, like on Wednesday, all of these investigators who are actual investigators and have integrity as investigators working together. And then more distraction for Trump. He tries to move forward, he tries to do his thing, but he's constantly having to wave away all of these bats flying at his head. No. I'm not even going to pretend that doesn't make me happy. Okay. 66, I think. 60, is that what that says? Yes, 66. Sorry, I have to lean over to look at that time. 66. Okay, 66. Will the hearings result in Barr impeachment or new proceedings against Trump? Hello, good boy. No, good boy. You're so good. All right, will Wednesday's proceedings be the beginning of something that leads to Barr's impeachment? Or maybe I should just read on the hearing on Wednesday. Yeah, I should probably just read on the hearing on Wednesday. Wednesday's hearing. Chairman Nadler, where we know some Roger Stone prosecutors who resigned over Barr's actions, they're going to be testifying. Let's see here. Heartburn. Feeling pain in my chest. It feels like heartburn. Let's see here. Wednesday's hearing. Judiciary Committee in the House. Chairman Nadler. Is that going to do some damage to Barr and Trump? High Priestess. Secrets. Higher wisdom and secrets coming together. The higher wisdom of actually using judgment and, a higher wisdom. So it's both topics, the intersection of both topics. Linda's saying, I gotta go, Autumn, seriously feeling lousy. I'm so sorry, Linda. I hope you feel better. Well, Lisa's saying, I got out my vampire deck to read on Trump today. I love that. Just that's all you had to say. And I'd love it. Okay, first card in the reading was the Falling Tower crossed by the Ten of Swords. Having a bad weekend, Trumpy? Oh, yeah. This next week will be a conflagration. Ewot. Yep. Okay. Four of Wands. Temperance. This is Republicans thinking that they're going to turn it into a nothing. Big nothing. Temperance. But America's going to be watching this one. There's going to be a lot of attention on this. Hello, sweetie. 9 of Ghosts. Oh, that feels good for the Democrats. 7 of Wands. They're going to have... the Republicans are going to get their own in here and there to protect DOJ, Barr, and, what Trump's doing. But these are much happier Democrats. They're going to get much more, even the cat's happy right here. And America's watching. So, yeah, the Republicans will get some things in, but boy. All right, so that's happy Democrats. And that's Republicans not having quite the little party that they're hoping for. Okay, so question is this going to lead to Barr's eventual impeachment? Adding to the list of things against Trump is... it feels very futile. It feels like, I don't know why I just got a mental image of people going to a party in the winter and how everyone will like throw all their coats on a particular bed in a room that's not being used. And it's like more stuff against Trump. It feels like it's just another coat going on the pile. Everyone's going to come back in there, and everybody's going to sort it out, and who gets what and what goes where. But for now, it's just add it to the pile. But it's impeachment of Barr, I think, which is more pressing. But I think, don't you have to go through the Senate? And we know McConnell wouldn't go for that. What do you think, Tiny? It's going to lead to the impeachment of Barr or charges against Barr or something like that. Tower. I have a Tower card for the reading. See if you can see that. No, it's kind of hard to see. Tower card. Five of Cups. That's disappointment. Six of Wands. 10 of Pentacles. King of Wands. Fool. No, I don't think it's going to be that easy to get rid of Barr. This is Democrats being disappointed. If they're specifically going after Barr to like impeach him, that's the card of disappointment. And then I've just got a whole bunch of cards of Republicans working together and being relatively happy. And then you have Trump, the man, acting the fool. Kind of like he's been given more rope with which to act like an idiot and politically hang himself. Unfortunately, that doesn't look very helpful at all. Okay, and let me see if there's something else I could do here. Hang on. Okay, now, this will be my last tarot thing, and then we'll go over some of the astrology stuff, because of all of the craziness going on. Okay, 70, almost 73. I think this is important. 73, Berman's replacement. And I do not remember her name, I'll be honest. Is she going to get fired? Florida is exploding with new cases. Allison, I believe it. Does anybody know what Berman's, the woman who's replacing him, his it's like assistant U.S. attorney or something? Oops, that was loud. What her name is? Is she going to get fired too? Harry's mom is saying Barr is under investigation by the bar for something he did last year. Ooh. Audrey, is it Strauss? Strauss? Is it Strauss or Strauss? Audrey Strauss. Thank you. Barr gives me the heebie-jeebies. Oh yeah, he's Renfield. Seriously, I swear it's. I would not be surprised if in his office he would just occasionally stop meetings to go over to the windows and like find dead flies just to eat. He's Renfield. Strauss. Audrey Strauss. Thank you. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. Okay, Audrey Strauss, you poor woman. Are you going to get fired too? She did not get where she is by being a pushover. I can tell you that. Audrey Strauss. I feel like I should sit up straight. Like, whew, okay. Star. Keeps an orderly. This feels like in this deck, it's kind of hard to see, but there's a village here, and there's smoke coming out of the smokestacks, but it's one of those alpine villages. There's mountains there, and there's snow, and there's a gargoyle here, very steep roof, clock tower with a really, really steep roof. So it feels like one of those alpine villages that are very clean air, very orderly. So that feels like that's what she does. She doesn't feel like a bad person at all. Just she did not get where she is by being a pushover or being lazy or not getting things done. Okay, Hierophant. So that's establishment. 2 of Swords, that's decisions. Empress. Queen of Cups, and the Lovers. Well, she is suddenly going to have a whole lot of Democratic support that she doesn't necessarily want. Not that she's against it. She wants her job to be apolitical. She's very, very serious about her job. Okay, well she's about to get a lot of, that's a future, that's a lot of Democratic support. This is the establishment, what was going on, and then the decision that was made. And now, at the center of this is both her coming into power, but this is also America watching. She's come into power, but America is also very aware of her now. Strauss, thank you. And that's support. So I guess she's in until the election or so. Dave is saying the damage done yesterday at the rally will become apparent in 7 to 10 days. What makes you say that, Dave? Just curious. Okay. Audrey Strauss. She just wants this to go away so she can just do her job. Magician. She just wants to do her job. Hanged Man, High Priestess, Justice, World, 4 of Wands. All right, Major Arcana, which includes this. Major Arcana, it's like a lot of the themes that you see in Minor Arcana and court cards and things, but this is bigger forces. It affects more people, or it's more fated, or somehow it's just bigger energy. And it's like a lot of the things you see in Minor Arcana, but like I say, this is all in capital letters, whereas this will just be in regular size letters. She got the Magician. Then there are 4 Major Arcana. So, Hanged Man, this is Berman being becoming ineffective. He's not on his feet. Oh, what we got here? Okay, he's not on his feet. That's really the Hanged Man. Okay. Secrets, because of secrets and things that shouldn't be done, and using laws and things for purposes they really shouldn't be used for. But at the center of it is justice. What I'm concerned about, let me pull some qualifiers, because I have Justice in the center, which makes me very happy. And she's the magician. She's going to do her job. This World card is followed by this Four of Imps. And Imps in this deck can sometimes be Republicans. And this is like my cruise ship card. So let me get some qualifiers on this, because does that mean something happens where she is removed? Or is this something we should be worried about? Or is this just... this World and Four of Imps here. What is that talking about? It's an end of a major chapter. Sword of Truth. I like to see the Sword of Truth. Moon. Six of Pentacles. Nine of Pentacles. She's one way or the other, she's going to be fine. Excuse me. One way or the other, she's going to be fine. This upset. That's a Sword of Truth. What's up specifically with this Four of Wands? Who's happy? Who's having a celebration? Or is it Trump just moving on to his rally mess? Five of Cups, Fool. Eight of Swords. Ace of Wands. King of Wands. Okay. Let me move all this over a little bit. Whoa. Okay. See, it's worried because the World is the major ending of a major chapter. Thank you, Crystal. Crystal Tarot Apothecary. Thank you. Four of... Okay, this is my cruise ship card, my vacation card, my enjoyment, kind of card. And this is a card of disappointment. So it's like, uh-oh. But then I've got the Fool card. So Trump gets bored. That I'm getting very strongly. Trump's going to get bored of this whole thing. He has his own things to worry about. He's got the Moon card here. She's going to give out something. I don't know what this is. But ultimately, she's sitting pretty. I think she's going to stay where she is, but even if she isn't, she's going to be okay, which I guess is what matters. But she might even make some lip service to what Trump wants, but she's the one holding she might give out a little bit of candy to what Trump wants or Barr wants, but she's holding the big bowl of candy. The big bowl. Okay? And then later on, they may try to do something against her, to try to unravel her power, take action. That's Trump is the man, trying to take action to unravel her power. But she's going to be okay. And what feels really strong is that Magician card, which I think I put back in the deck. So her taking power, she's holding the big bowl and sitting pretty. I think Trump's going to get bored of this. I'm getting the word bored. Bored. I Want Candy is playing in my head now. Oh, yeah. Crystal... yeah, I try not to think about that song because that lead singer, she was 16. Yeah, it was a very inappropriate song. Whew. But, okay. This is why we need the Halloween deck, exactly. All right, I think that's all I'm going to cover there, and now I'm going to go over some astrology stuff. I'm sorry, I just touched my microphone by accident. Okay, will things settle down after the retrogrades go away? Okay, actually, first I'm going to I'm going to pull some tarot cards on that, and then I'll talk about what Steve Judd was talking about. Give Me Shelter playing in my head right now. I have a K-pop song stuck in my head, to be honest. It's like 85-30-ish. I loved, back in the 80s, basically, if you were, you have to understand, I also have a Venus in Sagittarius, so I love things from other countries, just to see how other people do things. And back in the 80s, basically, if you were British and you had a synthesizer then I liked your music. Can you talk sometime about what the Midheaven is? Sure. It's your status. It's what you're yeah, I mean, it's pretty much a culmination. The angles, ascendant, descendant, midheaven, IC, they're like super versions of the houses they begin. Your ascendant, your first house is your body, how you present yourself, your existence, your I am. Well, the ascendant is your physical appearance, and it's how you present yourself to the world. It's like that first, but more active. And so midheaven is the beginning of the 10th house, which is Capricorn, which is all about status. When you think of Capricorn, it can, a shorthand to think of, it would be like designer labels. Very classy, but very designer labels showing off wealth, muted colors. Capricorn is England, not the UK, England, with the aristocracy and very strong structural hierarchy, that kind of thing. So the midheaven, which is the beginning of that house of Capricorn, is your status. It's your career. And the opposite, think of the opposite of it, the IC is your home life, your childhood, and it's the beginning of Cancer, which is all about the nurturing mother energy. So I don't know if that helps any. Can astrology reveal anything about your past lives? Some people think so. Some people say that your south node, remember I talked about north node recently? Some people say that your south node tells you about your past life. I don't necessarily agree with that, to be honest, to be perfectly honest. And I don't want to, I don't like talking about past lives. I've had some weird experiences, and my south node has really not much, if anything, to do with what I have experienced. But it does explain the south node. Maybe it's just because the south node does explain the way I was raised. It explains the overall energy of my family that I was raised in. It describes what the kind of person I was raised to be, which is all Leo. My south node's in Leo, and I was raised by alphas, and I was raised to be strong and in charge and all of this, and I'm this big old water sign mess with a whole lot of stellium in Sagittarius, and yeah, but anyway. So yeah, it's not, that's your past, your home now, and it's home and privacy, and then your midheaven is your status and your career and how you're putting yourself up into the world. And back when getting married was more of a contract than just falling in love or what have you. No, when they used to, for women, when are you going to get married, they used to look at your midheaven, because getting married raised your status. Okay, thanks, Anne. Okay, Thank you, Bridget. Thank you, doll. My little snoozy pillow over here. All right, I think it's going to calm down once these... I'm just going to see what the cards have to say before I go over what Steve Judd was talking about what's going on with the planets this year. Are things going to calm down once these retrogrades are over? Eclipses, retrogrades, this mess right now. Will things calm down? I don't like when it feels like my guide's laughing. Oh, that's not good. 8 of Imps. Okay, well it's chaotic energy here, there, and everywhere. Okay. That's a card for the reading. 9 of Cups, 2 of Wands, 8 of Pentacles, 7 of Cups, Hanged Man. Not really. But it's going to hurt Trump. Lies that lead to being knocked up off your feet, hung up so you can't move forward. That feels very Trumpish. This is just the kind of stuff going on now, trying to... Funnily enough, that feels like all the social distancing where you have like calls on Zoom, or they're not real, they're like ghosts, but like they're just people you're talking to, but they're all online. But you're happy because they're your friends. That's what that feels like. That's funny. I've never gotten that for that card before. This is communications. Mercury retrograde. People can misunderstand a lot really easily. The center is 8 of Pentacles, which is just trying to move forward as best you can. You know, the economy's struggling, and, you know, it just kind of, and it's good to get your mind off of chaos, so you just go, you know, do some work, even if it's just work around the house or whatever you can to get a sense of accomplishment and take advantage of the limitations we're under right now, if you can, which is hard. But that's, yeah, this is going to hurt Trump somehow. That's what I'm getting for that. Okay, so Steve Judd, who is fantastic. He's been a, let me see. Nothing lasts forever, good or bad. That's what I've learned in 50-something years. Says Ewat. I hear you. Okay, so there's that. Thank you, Halloween deck. You've been very good to me. All right, Steve Judd. What he was talking about, and there's more, but I didn't get there. I'm so sorry. I ran out of time. What he was talking about was a lot of things are happening right now, within just a couple of days of right now. Okay, that's why the energy feels so chaotic. So June 21st, it's the summer solstice. All right, so the Earth has tilted. It's tilted toward the sun, basically, so that the northern hemisphere is getting a lot more sunlight. And that's why in Australia, I'm so jealous of Lena and David Johnson, who are cozying up in there. Oh, I'm so sorry. That came out of nowhere. I am so sorry. I hope I didn't just deafen you. Goodness, sorry about that. Whew, out of nowhere. Thank you, Rosemary. Thank you. That's why they're cozied up in their sweaters, and I'm really jealous. Thank you, Rob. Oh, see you later, Cynthia. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you, Bridget. Thank you, Rebecca. Okay. All right, I will... all right, so we had the summer solstice, and the sun moved into Cancer. At the same time, we have a near total eclipse of the sun, which happened 9 hours after the solstice. 9 hours. That's not long. Um, and it's over now, the main area of the Earth. When, excuse me, sweetheart, I'm going to get my little salt thing here, dear heart. You are so good. Yes, you are. You are so good. Yes, you are. And then I'm going to reach in here and I'm going to get my magic 8-ball. Yes, I am. I use my little magic 8-ball to answer Trump questions like, is Trump an insufferable blowhard? Maybe. Anyway. This doesn't like to close. Something wrong with this thing. Anyway, all right. This is the Earth. This is the Moon. Okay. Oh, wait. Running low on battery. Sorry about that. Running low on battery. So I have to move along here. This is the Earth. This is the Moon. This is the Sun. This lamp here. Okay. Wherever, when you get, this was a near total eclipse of the Sun, which means that the Moon moved between the Earth and the Sun, right? So from our vantage point, we couldn't see the Sun, right? And the Earth, because we had the solstice, it's also tilted. Okay, so that's the situation during the eclipse. Now, the Earth is still spinning on this axis, and where this shadow, the shadow of this, because the sun's still pumping out energy. Kathy is asking, do I have a crystal ball? I do not. This is casting a shadow. The sun is hitting the moon, and it's casting a shadow on the Earth. All right. Where this shadow is cast is where the eclipse is going to have the most effect. Remember the American eclipse in 2017, was it August, beginning of August or something? That fell, it moved right across the US. Well, while this eclipse is happening, this is falling through, it's like Saudi Arabia across all the way to India. So those are the areas going to be most affected by this, but it still affects the rest of the Earth. Okay? All right. And I don't like trying to describe the nodes. It's kind of complicated. It has to do with the Earth, and because the Earth is in the same plane with the sun, and this is tilting, and the moon it moves up and down. The node has to do where the moon moves over this particular line. It's a mathematical point. The nodes, the north node, the south node, it's a mathematical point that determines when this is crossing a line that would be created if you, with this passing. It's complicated. And I don't try to really go into it. But when you have an eclipse, you have a during eclipses of the sun, the moon and the north node are in the same place. All right, so we've also, during this eclipse, we have the moon and the north node are conjunctive in the same place at 29 degrees of Gemini. Okay, so this is happening right over well, I'll just draw it. Oh, forgive me. This is going to be a bad drawing. I think I can just draw a little circle here and not get my nails in the way. Okay. Got a little circle here. And you know how I've told you guys about the basic chart where everything's a variation of this? Where you have the 12 houses and what have you. All right. Now, what's going to be affected by this eclipse? Steve Judd did mention that Boris Johnson is, he just had his birthday like a day or two ago. So this eclipse is falling right on his sun. And Steve Judd thinks that that's going to be, that he may not be in power much longer. Okay, so 1, houses 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, first house, Aries. We have Taurus, and we have Gemini, and we have Cancer. Okay, and then we have Leo, Virgo. I won't go through the whole thing, but well, this might be okay. You know, I was just talking about the midheaven. In the basic chart, the basic thing you learn, so that then you know, this is the house of Aries. This is the symbol for Aries. It's the first house. It's the I am. And then this is the ascendant. These are the ascendant, descendant. So I was talking about the angles. They're like extra strong things that, in the chart as you go along, they're extra. It's almost like a magnifying glass for these different areas. Okay. This whole eclipse is happening between 29 Gemini and literally like less than 1 degree of Cancer. Right down here is where this is happening in astrology. And it's a partial eclipse of the sun because the moon and north node are in Gemini, whereas the sun's in, they're a couple of degrees away from each other, so then you get a partial eclipse. Okay? So this is the area we're talking about, which is also unusual. Of course, they can be anywhere, but just to have, there's going to be all of this Cancer energy going on, but there is also going to be some of this Gemini. So it brings in the energy from both into this weirdness. The mother, Cancer's the big mom, and Cancer, Gemini. Big mom of the zodiac, and Gemini is the communicator. Right, Gemini. How should you put the R in Cancer? Cancer. Okay. So, I watched the whole video. He included heliocentric charts, which apparently uses for weather and natural disasters. Yes, that's. I'm getting to that. That's in here. All right. So I just wanted you guys to know that. So we've had the sun moving into a new sign. All right. So you'll see people sometimes say, "Happy Libra season, happy Gemini season, happy Aries season." Well, this is Cancer season. So for the next 30 days or so, it's this energy of people being more in their feelings, but also more nurturing. It's a water sign. It's emotional. Okay, so that happened. There was a near total eclipse of the sun 9 hours after the solstice. So that causes all kind of weirdness. So the general energy changed over into this nurturing, emotional. Then there was this eclipse. So you had the sun, the moon, and the north node conjunct. So all kind of weirdness. And also 5 planets right now are retrograde. Okay, and what that means, what retrograde means, before my phone dies, what retrograde means, the best way to describe it, I've described it this way before, I hope I'm not boring you. Basically, you're about to leave your house. Okay, you're about to walk out the door. But you stop. Just before you've got the door open and you're about to go out, and then you go, oh wait. So you take a couple of steps backwards and you look around, you're like, do I have my keys? Did I shut that off? Okay, the kettle's off, the oven's off. Okay, do I have my keys? Okay, I do have my keys, check my pockets, my phone. Do I have the list, the grocery list? Okay, all right, I've got all this. Pet's okay, cat, dog, whatever, it's okay. Pet squirrel, whatever, it's okay. All right, now I can leave, I can move forward. That's a retrograde. It's where you have to go back over things. He says it's a time for reassessment, reevaluation, reconsideration. It is. It's also when things from the past can come up. Venus retrograde is notorious for bringing up zombie relationships, people contacting you that you dated years after years after years, and years ago. And Mercury retrograde, where things have trouble moving forward. Communication has trouble moving forward. So things go a little haywire and they don't, or information that was hidden before can be found again and brought forward. So 5 planets, yikes. And then between Monday, tomorrow, and Thursday, Neptune's going to start going retrograde before on Thursday, Venus, which is retrograde, starts going, it's called direct. So from our vantage point. Okay. Each of these planets deals with a certain aspect of life. Mercury is communication. Venus is what and how you love. Generally, Mars is not Mars. There are only 2 planets that are not going to be retrograde this week. One of them is Mars. Mars is how you take action. So taking action will still be a little easier than maybe some of these other areas. Saturn is bringing things into form. It's also time, making things real, physical. Okay, so each of these areas they're stopping in the doorway and they're taking a step back to double check things. Okay, and so you get all this weirdness of the eclipse. You get the normal major change of energy as the whole Earth starts reversing the pole, not the poles, reversing the tilt. So you get the whole Earth, the spin is starting to move back. Like on a spinning top, where it'll sometimes be like this way, and then it'll, so it's going to start moving back. So you get the solstice energy plus eclipse energy plus this week 6 planets all stepping back a couple of steps to look around in all these different areas of life. So he said he described it as a lack of clarity and forward thinking. Also, it can mean people making a mountain out of molehills. Okay, so it's going to be a very intense week. There was this fantastic quote, though. I had to write it down so I could share it with you. He said this yesterday, okay? Yesterday morning in the UK, so it would have been like Friday evening in America. He said, large events happening over the next 3 or 4 days are probably not going to work out the way the organizers expect it to. Paging Mr. Pascal, paging President Trump, a large event probably not going to work out the way you expect it to. Okay. Now, beyond that, things. Venus is going to go direct, which just means it's going to start moving forward again on Thursday. Okay, so hopefully no one's going to be hearing from exes out of the blue again, and you'll be able to move forward in that area. Some of these things are still checking to make sure they've got their watch on and their keys and the list, and so a lot of these other things they've taken that step back to double check. Older things, looking at older things, and what have you. But things will move out of retrograde. Different planets are in retrograde for different amounts of time. The outer planets are in retrograde from our perspective quite a bit. Quite a bit. But there are other planets that spend very little time in retrograde from our perspective. And apparently Venus is like the number one. It's like it only spends like 7% of the time in retrograde or something like that. So it's coming out of retrograde. So it's like, okay, so that, because that's anything that doesn't happen very often or doesn't happen as often, when it does happen, it has more of an effect. We're not used to it. Okay? So then he's talking about some other things happening later in the year. He's worried about kind of mid-July. The possibilities of maybe some earthquake activity or what have you. It has to do with if a chart, like this chart right here, this is called geocentric. And it's geocentric because the Earth is right at the middle. Right? So then we see the sun over here and different planets in different places. But if you put the sun right in the center, so it just looks like a normal orbiting, you know, the sun with the planets orbiting around it, then it's called heliocentric. Do they overlap like this often? No. No, Lourdes, they do not normally overlap like this. And that's why the energy is so intense and so weird and everything's discombobulated and yeah. I've never heard of 6 retrogrades simultaneously. Yeah, it's not a common thing. So looking at a heliocentric, he knows a lot of research about that with different planets lining up and what have you, that he thinks that in the middle of July, between like the 12th and the 14th, there's a 75% chance of some kind of major earthquake activity. Is it Armageddon? No. Is there likely some earthquake activity? Possibly. He's a little more worried about the 3rd week of August because in the sky, Mars, god of war, is going to be square, so overloading too much energy. Although they'll be a little bit far apart, basically it's going to be Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto. So he thinks that there's going to be a lot of, 3rd week of August, there are going to be a lot of sudden developments could be sort of economic warfare, cyber warfare. He hopes it's not military, but it's when Mars gets mad, when Mars gets overloaded and overloads other planets, that's what I call a square. It's really, to me, it's an overload of energy. It tends to fall back on what it knows best, which is taking action. And it's the god of war. And it's not necessarily, you know, an economic warfare could just be a new trade. I mean, it could be a trade deal, trying to work that out, or this isn't, again, Armageddon? No. But he's worried about mid-July, he's worried about the 3rd week of August, and he's really worried about Halloween. And I'm just like, really? Halloween, of all the days? Really? Halloween last year, I wasn't able to celebrate Halloween. I was stuck in a legal proceeding. It went well, but still, I was stuck having to travel, and I couldn't do anything about Halloween. And this year, apparently, it's going to be a big astrological stress and what have you. So it's like, fine, ruin my holiday. But anyway, and there's more in there, but that's as far as that's halfway through. And I'm sorry I don't have the rest of it yet, but I will. So that is all I'm covering today. And I always saw Trump having something major happen in July, maybe leaving, says Lourdes. Could be. It could be. So we'll have to look at where these things fall in Trump's chart, but that can wait. Just this week, just know that, yeah, there's a lot of energy of different parts of life having to take a step back and double check things before they can move forward again. And also with all the weirdness of the eclipses, which just makes everything bizarro world. with also these other changes. So it's tough right now energetically. Just hang in there. Take some time. Thank you, Lourdes. Thank you. Just take some time. You know, I've got my gray chair. I've got this gray chair over here that can recline, and I have two of them actually, one for myself and one for anybody who visits. And I call it my gray chair of happiness. Spend some time in your own version of your gray chair of happiness.